Hello, beautiful evolving beings, myself included. Oh, this topic got me so riled up. Please forgive me as I go through some of this information. And I also have to flip between screens in order to read a couple things to you. So I apologize in advance because I have very old equipment. But I had to share this. And of course, this is something that I have been working on for years. This is not new, but I did get some new research material today, and I can't even speak. I'm so flabbergasted. And it's all about what psychologists today are defining in their diagnosis code what delusional and schizophrenic is. And my topic started just to help people understand about conspiracy theorists. Because so many terms are being thrown around today, and you wonder who to trust, who's telling the truth, what world do I live in? So I can't answer that for you. Only you going within will answer. But perhaps if I can point out pieces that make you think twice, you will be more motivated to go within to get the answers yourself and not rely on some, quote, professional who's telling you how it is, when that might not even be the real truth. So I am asking you to expand your mind, expand your thinking. I am not cutting down one specific profession. People have been labeled sometimes for completely appropriate reasons and given a diagnostic code to get appropriate help. Do I always believe in the way that the help is given if it is a medicine-based practice? Not necessarily. Have there been times that it may be necessary? Perhaps. So please keep an open mind. But this is how this topic started. Conspiracies are those bits of information that go out that a lot of times, instead of prompting people to think, they can potentially put fear into your mind. So please go back, listen to my video on fear, false evidence appearing real, and learn a little bit about that. However, we have lived in a world that is completely matrix oriented, which means that everything we've been taught in every institution is actually a lie. So if everything that we've been taught is a lie, and we're defining individuals in a certain way and calling them delusional, you have to go back and ask yourself, are they really delusional? So, in another video, I mentioned that as a psychologist, I actually worked with mostly kids with cancer, but also I went by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, which is the manual for psychologists. Psychologists don't give out drugs, psychiatrists do, in case you don't know. And that manual was only at the 3rd revision. Well, it turns out today, I knew there were more. I just do not keep up on this specific topic or the manual because there are so many limitations. So it turns out that they are up to the 5th manual. And when I started reading the manual, I'm still speechless. So Number 1, delusional disorder. One of the statements says, the DSM-5 TR defines delusions as, quote, fixed beliefs that are not amenable to change in light of conflicting evidence. Okay, first of all, I had to read that sentence. I can't tell you how many times. And then I was like, what? This doesn't even make any sense. So 6 fixed beliefs that are not amenable to change in light of conflicting evidence. Wait a minute. Whose evidence? Whose fixed beliefs? Wait, who's telling us this? And what if they actually know the truth and are trying to help others find out what the truth is too? It goes on to talk about, it says this, for a doctor to diagnose a person with schizophrenia, they must experience some form of delusions. And it goes on to talk about the different levels of schizophrenia. I will get there in a minute. And when it talks about delusional disorder, it states that a person can't tell what's real from what's imagined. And therefore, it's treatable with psychotherapy and medication. Okay. If you heard my other video on how I worked with children who were dying, who often were having out-of-body experiences, they're called UBIs. A child or any individual, when they're in the process of dying, often have these vivid dreams, and sometimes they literally are popping between planes. They're leaving the Earth planet and they're going elsewhere, or they're popping back down in. Now, when I was a psychologist with those kids, I was immediately hauled in by administration and reprimanded because I wrote that the child was not delusional, that the child was actually experiencing out-of-body experiences. And of course, the hospital administration didn't like that. The psychiatrist really didn't like that. And they were all ready to give a child who was dying, already on medication, more medication to handle the delusions, versus facing the fact that when you are dying, you actually do move into these other levels, these other states. Is that a conspiracy theory? Well, I feel bad for the people who have not yet realized that they are multidimensional beings living in a physical body. That is not a judgment. I hope that by sharing these truths, you can expand your mind and start to really think about how so much more of you exists outside of this physical body than you might think. And also to help you so that if you are having what is called by a licensed professional a delusion, you may not be delusional at all. And I'm going to tell you, as both a past psychologist and as an individual who has vivid dreams of the present, of the future, who literally can transport, can take remote view, pop in, get information from other places, that is not delusional. That is a beautiful ascending soul. Go back to listen to my tapes on light workers and starseeds, and you'll hear more about that. But then what got me even more worked up was I started reading about things I don't remember them being written about. They could be, but it has to do with defining schizophrenia. Now, again, because I worked more with medical illnesses and with children, I did not work specifically with delusional and schizophrenic diagnoses. However, when I was taught, it was very, very simple. And this simplicity helped define if the person might be a harm to themselves or to others. That was important. It still is today. And that is the person oriented times 3? And this is what I want you to look at while you are judging or labeling or putting names on conspiracy theorists. Are they oriented times 3? Do they know their name? Okay. If they know their name and they're not walking around saying, I am Jesus Christ, and believing it. If they know the year and date that they are living in, meaning they don't turn around and go, oh, I'm in 1824, when it's actually 2023. And